Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ, and a big welcome to all those new PlayStation players that have come to DayZ this month with the introduction of DayZ for free. Well, you've got to have a subscription to PlayStation Plus. And yeah, welcome to one of the greatest games ever made, but also one of the hardest games to learn as well, and the most frustrating to play. But what I want to do in this video is just show you something that lots of people don't realise about DayZ, and that is you can take your gear from one map to the next on official servers. Okay, so this is on Xbox, but it's very similar on PlayStation, and PC it's slightly different, but the browser, you get the idea. So if we press play and then look in the top left hand corner, this is our server browser. So as you can see, we've got my favorites, then I press the shoulder button to go to official, and then we've got community servers. Now official servers, this is where it works. So what this means is if I use my left trigger now to come down, and what we want to do is find a Chernarus server. So if we find this server here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to favorite that now. I'm clicking in my right stick. We're going to jump into this server, and I'm going to show you the loadout. And the way that this works is, actually we won't use that server because that's a first person server. We'll go to, let's find a Chernarus non-first person. That's mouse and keyboard. There we go. Let's go to this one. So this is a Chernarus non-first person, non-mouse and keyboard server. So I'm just going to favorite that. So basically, if I go into this server, Chernarus, and Chernarus is the OG DayZ map. You know, so it's probably the best map. You're going to spawn in on the coast. You go to the northwest. Then as you go further inland, you get better gear. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to Livonia, which is the second map where you start in the north and work your way south. Now it's got a lot of wilderness in Livonia, lots of trees, so it's not lots of people's favourite, and I can understand that, but I'm going to show you we will have the same gear. And then we're going to go to Secal. Now Secal is the extra map that's part of the Frostline DLC that you have to pay for, but it's the winter map and it's highly worth having. But what I would say is, if you're new to DayZ, get used to surviving on Chernarus first. So let's find that favourite one we had. And we didn't, that's first person. We don't want first person. Let's unfavourite that. So here you go. So this is Chernarus. There we go. So let's favourite that one and let's join this server. Now, because I've been jumping around, I've got this timer prolonged and position may be altered due to server change. Now what happens is, because the game doesn't want you to do loot hoovering or loot hoarding, if you swap between servers, it will take you somewhere else in terms of the geographical location when you go on the same map. So if you're in a Chernarus server, then you swap to another Chernarus server within a short period of time, it will teleport you somewhere else. Now the reason it does this is because otherwise what people would do is they would go to a military area and they would look for the good guns, and they would log out, go to another Chernarus server, log in, and if they were in the same military area, what they could then do is go around, hoover all those guns, log out, and keep doing the same thing. And this is how it used to be in DayZ until a few years ago. So what they've done now is they've introduced this system where if you're on the same server, same map, and you go to the same map within a certain amount of time, you'll just get teleported somewhere else. To stop you being able to do that. And it's a really good thing to do. So that's why you always want to favourite your servers, so you go back to the same one, so you don't by mistake end up on a different server, get teleported out the map, teleported over the map, and be lost. So here's my chap here. So we're here. I don't know where we've been teleported somewhere. So if I have a quick look at our inventory, so we can see we have a plum, a flare, a bandage, and we are wearing a red t-shirt, aren't we? So that's us. So now let's exit out of this. Make sure to exit, yes. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to go to Livonia. Now the reason why you might want to do this is because Chernarus, arguably, not only being probably the best map, it probably is the easiest one as well. So that means that what you can do is you can get geared up on Chernarus and then go to Livonia, and especially if you want to go to Sakhal, the winter map, you can take stuff with you. So again, we go to the official one and then we use our right trigger to come down. So what we want now is Livonia. We don't want first person, we want just a normal Livonia, not first person. Livonia. Here we go. This one. This is normal. So I'm gonna. What happened there? I'm just going to favourite that as well, so we know where it is. So that's cool. So we'll connect to this one, and then we'll see that we've got the same character. And this is very powerful, this technique, because it's encouraging you to find the best bits of each map. Because what DayZ does is that it spawns a different mix of gear on each map. So for example, winter gear, like the white camouflage stuff, is really just spawns on Secal, the winter map. But also when it comes to weapons as well, Chernarus has a nice mix of western weapons, so M16s, and eastern weapons, say AK-47s or AK-74s. But when you go to Sakhal, it will mainly be eastern weapons like AK-47s and AK-74s. If you go to Livonia, it's more of the western weapons as well. So again, it's encouraged you to go from map to map, not only to enjoy the different geographies of these different maps and the different biomes, with Secal being the hardest one to survive in, because not only do you have hunger and disease, you also have cold as well, which means that you have to keep your character warm by constantly making fires, warming your character up, and then exploring, eating, exploring for a bit more, warming your character up with another fire, and you've got to keep doing that, otherwise you'll freeze to death as you go along. Okay, so we're going to spawn in Livonia in just a second, and hopefully what you should be able to see is we are the same character. There's our plum, there's our flare, there's our red t-shirt. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So now let's exit out of here. I'm sure you want to exit. Yes, we do. And then we're going to jump into Secal next. Now, and this is a feature of DayZ that many veteran players ignore as well, because this isn't something you get on community servers. Well, not at the time of recording this video anyway. So the community servers, in fact, let's jump here. So let's go to official. So now we want Secal. So let's go to Secal. We just want normal Secal. So let me favorite that one. There's nothing different about it. Right, let's connect to this one. Again, because we're jumping around, and I've previously been on other Secal servers, it's going to push me somewhere else. But yeah, so on community servers, which are rented by members of the community, what they can do there is they can have more loot, they can have less loot, they can have more zombies, less zombies, they can have guns that already have magazines or suppressors or scopes on them. You can have characters spawn in already with lots of gear. You can do all that wonderful stuff in community servers. PC community servers, they can do even more things, but don't worry about that. We can do a lot on console as well. But the public servers, the official servers, they are vanilla DayZ. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with vanilla DayZ. There's a definite magic to vanilla DayZ where it's hard to survive. And I always remember that one of the creators of DayZ, I'm not sure if it was Dean Hall or one of the other guys, what they said was they wanted it so that when you found a tin of baked beans, it should make you feel like you've won the game. That's how difficult it should be to survive, and it definitely is. And I would also say the first probably 10 hours of playing DayZ will be the worst 10 hours you've probably ever experienced in a video game ever, because it doesn't tell you what to do very well. There's no proper tutorials in the game. There's no tooltips hardly telling you what to do. So here we are. We're on the beautiful Secal, which you have to pay for as part of the Frostline expansion. And if we look, there we are. There is our plum. There is our road flay. There is our bandage. And there is our red t-shirt. So hopefully your brain might be ticking away now thinking, cool. So this means if I really want to have a go at Secal and really explore and have a chance to survive, what I should be doing is doing a nice run on Chernarus, getting that nice jacket, getting that nice backpack, getting a nice lighter, getting a gun, getting an axe for cutting wood, maybe that sort of stuff, maybe a fishing rod as well. And then jumping over to Secal. And the devs have designed it like this so that you will have this this experience of going between the maps. And I think it's very, very clever. But as I say, at the moment anyway, it only works on official servers, not community servers. What I'll do is I'll also now have a little plug for my servers. So I have community servers for PlayStation, Xbox and PC. And my community servers are slightly boosted loot. So it's easier to survive. They're also PvE only, no killing. no base raiding, no stealing and that sort of stuff. But they are behind a paywall, so you have to pay to join them. It's not expensive. You can either become a YouTube paid member, which I think is about $5 a month, something like that, or you can go over to my Patreon for a similar sort of price, and you can join there. So what I'll do is I'll put links to that sort of stuff in the description below this video. So if you fancy having an easier version of DayZ, where there's more loot and loot spawns in pristine and vehicles spawn in with wheels on them and spark plugs in them and that sort of stuff, then by all means come and check it out for a more relaxed, beginner-friendly DayZ where people aren't trying to shoot you in the head as soon as you get to the nearest well. But the subject of this video was the fact that you can go on official servers. When you go between maps, Chernarus, Livonia and Secal, you can take your gear with you. Just make sure they're the same type of maps. I'm pretty sure if you go to a first-person server, you're going to start a new character, or a temporary, you're going to start a new character, or even, I think, mouse and keyboard. You've got to make sure it's always the same. So, hopefully you found this useful. Welcome to all those new PlayStation players. Stick with the game. You're going to love it. DayZ is one of the greatest games ever made. If you found this video useful, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, subscribe. And of course, I'll see you all again soon.